Achieved.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome in to Studio Day Heffrey. It's nice to see you today. Today, what I want to talk about, you'll know some of this if you've listened to all 5 hours of the G-Bag Nation yesterday, but I think I nailed it with the Amari Cooper situation. How exactly should the Cowboys handle Amari Cooper? I got it for you. Now, step one is paying Dak. Pay Dak Prescott his money, beat the deadline to the franchise tag, get Dak done by March 10th. We have heard the news that they are trying to do that. That is their goal. Most teams aren't able to pull that off because it's not a real deadline, but for me, that is a real deadline for this reason. The perfect Amari Cooper solution is the franchise tag, which means it's got to be freed up. And the only way you free that up is getting a Dak deal done, because if your Dak deal is not done, I promise you, he's getting franchise tagged. You're not letting him hit free agency. So we got to get Dak done so that Amari Cooper can get the non-exclusive franchise tag. Now, in case you don't know, what is the non-exclusive franchise tag? It's what Jarvis Landry got with the Browns. It's what a lot of guys end up getting. Because on the exclusive franchise tag, you can't get deals done. But on the non-exclusive franchise tag, people can suddenly bid on your guy. The exclusive, people can't mess with him. Non-exclusive, people can start offering him contracts. And you can figure out what's his market, how sure are we, how sold are we on Amari Cooper. And if we're not totally sold, then if somebody offers technically the compensation for the non-exclusive tag would be somebody says, hey, Amari, we want to give you 5 years, $100 million. And he says, cool, I'll take it. Then the Cowboys have to say, we'll match it, or you can have him, but we get 2 first-round picks from you. That's the compensation on the franchise tag. But I think Jarvis Landry went for like a 4th rounder and a 7th rounder. Like, you can alter that compensation. So let's see. Here you go, Coop. For the moment, you're getting $16 or $17 million for this year of football, and we'll see. And if the market out there is right, and here's the team I'm looking at. This is the team I'm looking at. I'm looking at the New England Patriots, because they've got to show Tom Brady, hey, we're going to have you better weapons. Now, I am a believer in Brady is washed, but I also will admit that his weapons were atrocious. It was Julian Edelman. They wasted a first-round pick on N'Keal Harry. I hope he turns it around, because I pull for everyone to be good, but he couldn't separate in college. He's not going to separate in the NFL. So they don't pick receivers well in New England. Really, they don't draft well at all. But they've got to show Tom Brady, hey, we've upgraded your weapons. We're ready to rock, baby. Let's go. Let's come on back, you old man. Let's go do this. Will they give me number 24? Give me number 24. Because this will solve a lot of problems. A lot of you saw my mock draft yesterday that I did. No, we can't take a receiver in the first. Okay, well, how about this? Because in that scenario, I said, maybe I'm letting Coop walk. I don't know. But in this scenario, let's say New England says, we will pay Amari Cooper. We'll take that guy. And we'll give you the 24th pick. Say, okay, thank you. Now I get to 17. And at 17, Henry Ruggs is sitting there. I take him. Or it's Jerry Jeudy, or it's CeeDee Lamb. I'll throw Jalen Reagor in the conversation. One of those 4 guys is sitting there, I take him. And then at 24, I get much more comfortable with either Grant Delpit or Xavier McKinney, that's the LSU and the Alabama safety, or C.J. Henderson, the Florida corner, or Christian Fulton, the LSU corner. I like them better at 24 than I do at 17, because I've got those receivers as better prospects than those corners. I've got those receivers as top 20 players in the draft. I got the corners as top 25 to 28 players in the draft. So it really works out for me. And if somebody falls in my lap, great. And I was at dinner last night, and somebody asked me, they're like, yeah, but rookie receivers, how much success do they have? And I just look at last year. A.J. Brown had a ton, 1,100 yards. DK Metcalf had a lot of success as a rookie. Hollywood Brown was good. Terry McLaurin was great. You can get that, especially if you're not putting a ton of pressure on them coming into the league. You've got Michael Gallup, you've got Randall Cobb, and even this is scary to me, you know? I don't like moving away from having a true number one receiver and then putting that burden on a guy that you don't know how that's going to go. Juju Smith-Schuster did not handle that well in Pittsburgh. So it's not my favorite idea, but my biggest thing is I'm not sold on Amari Cooper. I know a lot of people are. A lot of people are big Cowboy fans, and just no matter what, they say everything's great, that guy's great, and he's going to be amazing. But I don't know how you ignore what happened in Oakland, where they were willing to move on from a guy. Look, Amari Cooper came to the league at 21 years old and went over 1,000 yards, while most people are still playing college ball. He dominated the SEC at the age of 18. The dude's a stud player when he's healthy, when he's happy, when life is good. But something's off. Whether it's how he responds to adversity, whether it's toughness. Like, I don't know exactly what it is, but you don't end up playing other receivers more than your number one receiver. That doesn't happen. And if it's injury related, then they could easily just say that and it all goes away, but they haven't. So something is off. Now, maybe if you were winning, life would be great and he'd be a 1,300-yard receiver and you go win the Super Bowl, but something's off. There's a reason that the Raiders traded him, and there's a reason that the Cowboys are talking about how Dak is priority number one, and then when you ask about Amari Cooper, they're like, oh, yeah, priority two. So the franchise tag is the perfect solution for Amari Cooper, where if there's not a ton of interest elsewhere, great. You'll be here for a year, and we can reevaluate this. We can see how this looks. I'm worried about giving that 5-year, $100 million deal to a guy that at the end of the year, we're all looking around like, what's he doing on the sideline? And is he hurt? Is he engaged? Does he care? Why aren't the coaches putting him in and are pretending that it's normal? And Stephen Jones is yelling at me on the radio like, I'm not going to answer that anymore because it's fine. It's just our rotation. You don't rotate your number one receiver out half the game. Don't give me that stuff. Give me that stuff. So that's the perfect solution. Get the Dak deal done. And then with Amari Cooper, slap that franchise tag on him. Then you also got the transition tag freed up if you wanted to use that on Byron Jones or something like that. So, hey, I solved it for you. Now let's get to some of the questions. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube page, turn on the notifications, youtube.com/Jeff Kavanaugh, and leave in the comments what you want to talk about the next day, and I'll keep pulling from those, from my backsiders, from my mailbags, and check 1053thefan.com every day. Let's see what we got here. Chucky, baby. Hey, Jeffrey, love your show. Can you please do a 3-round mock draft, but with a first-round trade down? Sure, I'll do that. I got my buddies at the Draft Network. They're going to get me hooked up with their deal where I got to get premium subscription services. You know what I'm saying? I got to get the hookup. Once they get me hooked up, yeah, I'll trade down. We'll have a great time. D. Wallace, thoughts on Damon Arnett? You think he could be a second-round cornerback we could pick up in the third round, similar to Jordan Lewis? Excuse me. Sorry about that. I actually just finished studying Damon Arnett, and I really like him. He's the Ohio State cornerback. I believe he's a redshirt senior because when I checked the Pro Football Reference, there's 5 years listed. So I think he redshirted and then played 4 years in college. So he'll probably be an older prospect. But I actually tweeted out that I think he'd be a great fit for the Cowboys because I guess we don't really know what they're going to do defensively this year. But if you're mixing man coverage and cover 3, that's what I saw a lot from Damon Arnett at Ohio State. Even against Clemson, they couldn't really get open on him. The catches I saw him give up were a couple of inside routes when they're in cover 3. So technically that's not his responsibility, but I think he's a good player. 6 foot, 195. Didn't have huge production. I think he had 1 interception this year as a pick 6, 96 yards. 8 passes defended. It's not the greatest ball production, but that was a really good defense with a great pass rush, so you really don't get an opportunity too often. I like Damon Arnett. I don't think you can get him in the third round. I got him graded as a second-round guy, but you never know in the NFL draft. John Spurlock said, Jeff, keep doing what you're doing. Great job. Thank you, John. Talk about a free agency kicker we get for next year. I think we need to pony up and pay a kicker. Maybe Greg the Leg. I don't mind Forbath. You know why I don't mind Forbath? I don't want my team thinking we can kick 60-yard field goals. I want a kicker who from 40 to 49 is money in the bank. Just find me a guy. Just be money in the bank. I don't need you kicking 60-yarders. I don't need to give my coach a reason to think, well, we're within 58 here. We could really pump the brakes. Go score touchdowns. And if you don't score touchdowns, just be able to kick it from in the 40s. I don't mind Forbath. Let me see. XX Cream is XX. Jeff, thanks for the content. Can you do a segment on if the Cowboys have mismanaged the bigger contracts in the past few years? Their deadlines make deals. In business, that may be the case, but if you keep waiting for the deadline in the NFL, you risk D-Law rushing back from surgery, Zeke missing training camp, Dak threatening to miss OTAs. Yeah, I think they've screwed it up. I think they screwed up with Tank, where they didn't trust his health, and so they waited, and they had to franchise tag him to have him play that out, and then they had to get him his deal, and it ended up costing him more than they planned to pay him, and more than it would have cost him the year before. I think with Zeke, I think they absolutely mismanaged it. But with Zeke, it was in a different way. With Zeke, they should have just said, we'll see you when you get here. We got you for multiple more years. Multiple. They should have just waited him out instead of giving a running back a big deal. It's insane to give a running back a big deal. And I don't like saying that because, I am pro player. Get your money. Zeke did a great job. He forced their hand. He made them think, we can't win without him. We better give him his money, because they don't understand that running backs are, for the most part, replaceable, and that's their fault. So, yeah, they've mismanaged some contracts. Jalen Smith. Yeah. I also think the linebackers were undercoached last year. So hopefully you can get that sorted out. They can play better, and life can be good. Jake Ramey, would you take Raekwon Davis, the defensive tackle from Alabama, in the second if we miss on Kinlaw? No, I would not. I've got Raekwon Davis as a third or fourth rounder. I don't know where the sophomore version of Raekwon Davis went, where he had like 8.5 sacks. But the junior and senior version of Raekwon Davis, he's really like a 3-4 defensive end. Yeah, he's a big guy, 6'7", 312, I think, and he's got this in the bag. He can extend on you and control blockers and play the run, but that's what he is. To me right now, he's a run stuffer. And what's a run stuffer worth to me? 4th round pick, give or take. A couple people asking about Albert O from Missouri, the tight end. I'll watch him today or tonight so I can answer those questions. I know when I've seen him this year, it looked like he's missing his guy Drew Lock, because he's looking sluggish. The production's not there, but we'll get that handled. Make sure you're leaving in the comments what you want to talk about tomorrow, or if I do a video tonight. Make sure you're subscribed, get the notifications on, and I'll catch you on the radio, all right? Trust the Tape, I believe, is today, so be on the lookout. Brian Broaddus and I will be trusting the tape. Get you caught up on all your college football, your NFL draft prospects. We'll rock it. Love you.